Who are able?
It must just better.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father love.
Father love.
Truth. Peace.
Freedom.
And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Through Ali. Amen. All please remain standing, those who are able, for the Lord's honors and units. First shall rise, giving praise to Allah. The great God of the universe. I give honor to the last prophet in these days. Prophet Noble Juali. I give honor to all true and divine prophets of Allah. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc. I give honor to Marcus Garvey, forerunner prophet Noble Juali. I give honor to the American flag, the flag of our birth, and to the Moorish flag, our decent flag, the red flag, with the 5-pointed green star in the center, the 5 points representing the 5 divine principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I give honor to our divine charter, which gives us the divine and legal right to practice and promote our religion unmolested. I give honor to all past supreme grand advisors and moderators of the Moore Science Temple of America Incorporated. In succession. Brother C. Kirkman Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, and Brother J. Blakely Bay. I give honor to our past former Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Loville. I give honor to our present Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay. I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheik, Brother A. Hopkins Bay. I give honor to the Grand National Chairman, who's also the Grand Sheik here at Temple 71, Washington, D.C. I give honor to all national officials in their office and station. I give honor to all state officials in their office and station. Giving honor to Brother H. Harris Bay, Grand Governor of Washington, D.C., and to his assistant, Sister D. Jones Bay. I give honor to all divine ministers, sheiks and sheikas, all local officials in their office and station, all members of the Moore Science Temple of America Incorporated. I give honor to all auxiliaries, everything that the prophet brought and taught, for the uplifting of fallen humanity. I give honor to the Moorish media team. I give honor to all of our viewers and those who are listening in. I give honor to our class. Peace. I'll now read Salvation, Our God, Unity. The Moore Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moore Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moore Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs, if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moore Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh, and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali found Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, mailing address, MST of A Incorporated, P.O. Box 388, Greenbelt, Maryland 20768. Thus, we had a reading from all 7 acts of the divine constitution and bylaws. We'll now have a reading from questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand chiefs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be financed properly or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand chief. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to finance, to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch him. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member or any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. This with Act 5. All members must properly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep an eye on all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faith. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplift in the fall of humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Peace. Thus we had a read from all 7 acts, the questionnaire, and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. We'll now have a reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guidance of his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father, God Allah. I'm going to read this. This is let me see here. I'm going to read from the back cover. The Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Know thyself and thy Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship under his own vine and fig tree, the uniting of Asia. Islam. I'd like to welcome everyone out. And those of us, if there's anyone downstairs, please let them come up this time. If there's anyone in the vestibule, the hallway, please let them in at this time. And while we're waiting for our Grand Sheik and moderator, our brother, man, and friend, to come up, we can check our phones. And I'm going to check mine along with us all. Make sure we're on the same page. And Islam to the Makipe family. Portion is here. And at this time, I call forth our Grand Sheik and moderator, our brother, man, and friend, Brother R. John Bay, for our Sunday.
Son,
Allah, the
Father
Father
of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen.
Islam.
Islam.
Okay. Let's begin. Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No,
Where's the nearest place we can meet him?
in the heart.
Who is Noble Dua?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
The prophet is part of Allah manifested in the flesh.
Why must you protect the prophet? Because it says protect either prophet and what? So how do you protect the prophet? How do you protect a divine thought? A thought of Allah? How do you do that? Come on,
Your
man.
words, acts, and deeds,
That's a
and
good-
keeping in conformity with his laws.
That's right, man.
Islam,
That's right.
Islam.
Keeping in conformity with his laws. But how and how does keeping in conformity with his laws protect him?
through divine pressure.
Okay. Do it with divine purpose. Okay. Come on.
I'd say through your practice and representation of the truth
Okay.
and what the prophet stands for and what he came to do. So you don't misrepresent what he came to do and what the movement was dedicated to.
Okay. That's good. But because remember something. This is what he's telling us to do. Protect I, the prophet, and the temple. Can you hear what's being asked?
Yes.
Protect I, the prophet, and the temple. And the prophet is Jesus. Come again. So we're saying protect Jesus as he is Noble Juali. But if you are not prepared to take on your responsibility, then instead of protecting the prophet, what would you be doing?
You misunderstanding.
You will be contributing to what? The misunderstanding. So if you're not protecting, you're doing what?
Participating in the misunderstanding.
Right, but if I'm not protecting you, I'm what?
Oh,
Harming you.
yes.
I'm harming you. Come on, my brother.
Islam, praise Allah, honor the Prophet. Seems to me that the only thing the Prophet needs us to protect him from is misrepresentation
Right,
that causes misunderstanding
Right.
and confusion
right.
about him as well as the temple.
Right. Hey, babe, but look who we have to protect him from. Us.
First,
Ourselves. Come on, babe.
You know, the thought that came to me is that what we are protecting is not the physical structure, we're protecting the thought.
Right. The physical being is just physical.
Yes.
See, that's when you start thinking in that heat, when you start to think about him protecting him physically, you'll miss what's being said. He doesn't need our protection physically. He needs our protection spiritually. That's what we're trying to preserve, our spiritual connection with God.
And Brother Grant, she's mentally,
Yes,
spiritually and mentally.
yes, yes. Because mental is what helps you to protect the spiritual. Because mentally, you must make something. Because mind is where things are made of thought. You must make something in your mind to help you to protect it. Something must be made within your mind to help you to protect Prophet Noble Jarvis. And he is a thought of Allah manifested in the flesh. What must you make in your mind to help you to be effective in protecting the prophet?
Sincere determination. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll say it takes sincere determination. No question about that. Come on.
Yes, I would say harmonious conditions.
Yes, yes,
I would say acceptance.
yes.
I would say firmness of mind.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Willingness? Okay. Come on, babe.
High thoughts.
Yes,
And establishing that which is right,
yes, yes,
which go along with your principles.
yes, yes. Come on.
And accepting that he is a prophet.
Yes, yes. That's most definite.
And then, because it says Allah is my protector, my God. So you have to accept the thought of Allah to become the thought of Allah so that you can protect the thought of Allah. And it is movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Because how else would you protect if you don't accept?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like what Sheila just said, you can't if you don't. If you don't accept, you can't protect. Because what are you focusing on protecting?
Nothing.
It's no question. So I gotta make something in me to help me not to fall prey to that. Come on.
I was thinking about, to be able to do that, I was thinking about knowing
Right,
that this is worthy of being protected.
right, right,
And the only way I see me doing that is that I must, inside of me,
right,
see it being worthy
right,
of being protected,
right,
based on what I have received
right,
from it,
right,
to allow others to receive it.
right, right,
See, but if I don't see the worthiness in it
right,
or the benefit in it,
right,
then I never known to protect anything that you didn't care about.
right. That's true. That's true.
So I think it comes, and the word I was thinking about is to know is to be what you know.
Okay.
You have to see the beauty in what the prophet brought.
Okay.
And no one can give that to you. You have to see it for yourself.
Okay.
So that you can see the benefit and stand in defense
Okay.
of the gospel.
Okay. I hear that. I can hear that. Now, again, back to the mind. What are we going to make to help us to be effective in doing that? Something must be made to help me do that.
Yes.
What do you think it takes to make?
Consistency.
What do you think? I mean, just think about it. Just think about it. What do you think that you can make to help you do what's being requested of you to do? What do you think that you need? And if I have this, this can help me do what I'm being asked to do.
Yes, sir. I was thinking, know the truth.
Okay.
Know the truth,
Okay.
The prophet brought us the truth.
Okay.
When we accept the prophet and his teachings,
Right.
we study that.
Right.
We know through trial and experience
Right.
that it's true.
Okay.
We can stand on it.
All right.
Yeah. We protect the prophet against falsehood,
Right.
slander,
Yeah.
disharmony,
Right.
all of that.
that's why I stated earlier, harmonious conditions, because we're trying to protect against confusion,
Right,
and misrepresentation.
right, right, right,
Right.
right, right. Come on, man.
It's not,
I mean,
in the, I had to go to Shimon of the truth. I would say, I gotta exercise my will.
right,
I gotta get my will in tune. And it starts in the mind, like
Right.
you say.
right,
Because the will of man
Right.
makes possible the actions of the Holy Ghost.
Right.
Which is
Right.
the truth Shingaleo was talking about.
right, right,
It's not.
right, okay.
I would say peaceful progress.
Okay, you would say first was that, okay.
You asked what.
What do you need
To make.
to help you to accomplish what's being requested? What do I need to make to help me to be effective in what I have been instructed to do? I hear the statements that's being made, but I'm not hearing what you're making to help you to have those statements manifest. Come on.
Consistency.
Okay, consistency. Okay, okay.
Firmness of mind.
Okay.
Go back to my willingness.
Okay.
My willingness to make sacrifices.
Okay. All right. Well, what about this? Why not make a commitment? Why not make in your mind a commitment?
That's where the commitment gotta start.
Come on, no?
In your mind, yeah.
You know. See, I hear that, what you're saying. And I'm not refuting what you're saying. But you're not hearing what I'm asking. Come on.
Islam, praise the Lord, Prophet. That's what I meant when I first said a fixed determination.
Yeah.
If you, especially considering the comments that the governor made, if you don't have any cherished value for that which you are attempting to protect,
Right.
you won't go out on the battlefield to
Right.
put up a fight in the first place.
Right.
So you got to see
Right.
that there's some worthiness,
Right.
some
Right.
value, some kind of connection between you protecting that which ultimately ends up protecting you.
Right.
So by making a fixed determination, a commitment,
Right.
you make the first step decision to at least put up a resistance towards anything that would harm
Right.
the prophet and the temple.
Right.
Peace.
Why do you think a commitment, or what must be done before you make that commitment?
Honestly, sincerity,
Accept.
Belief. Sincere.
You know what I'm saying?
Note your strengths and worthiness.
That's good. What about also, come on,
No, I was just saying, willingness to clean up.
yeah, no question. No question. Come on,
Understanding,
right,
because understanding is the rock on which man builds himself.
Right.
So if you have understanding, Jesus also said, man is the breath made flesh.
Right.
So truth and falsehood are
Right.
joined in it, and
Right.
then they strive, and all goes down.
Right.
And man's truth abides.
right,
So, when you have the understanding that you were, you truth and falsehood strange, you have that understanding, that's where the commitment comes in that, because now you're committed
okay,
and fighting against that low self and striving against it until it goes down.
okay, that's it, that's reasonable, that's workable. Yes, desire, recognition, right. But don't you also think that you must have an examination?
That's level one. That's right.
You gotta have an examination. Because how else will you note your strength and worthiness until you examine yourself?
That's right.
All that you're talking about doing, using the will and all that, yes. But let me examine myself because willing or my willpower may be weak.
That's right.
At least you can note that.
That at least you can make a note of it. You know,
If it's weak, you can know it.
that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. Yeah.
And what you're saying, brother, that's why I said note your strength and worthiness. However, being honest
Right.
with yourself.
Right.
Be
Right.
honest with yourself.
Right.
Not try to give yourself the impression that you are not these things.
Right.
Because if you're not, if you don't, if you make yourself believe you don't have these imperfections,
Right.
you will go along and thinking you do have you are ready
Right.
for what's coming.
Right.
But you haven't addressed the things you need to address to be ready.
Right.
See, sometimes I'm learning is that once we find out little things about ourselves,
Right.
we want to disregard them.
Right.
But it's not, we don't need to disregard them, we need to address them because what's coming down the pipe
Right.
is these things gonna play a major part
Right.
in affecting us on whether we can operate
Right.
in the manner which we should.
Right. See, sometimes what gets in our way, we think we're ready
There you go.
when we're really just tired.
There you go.
I'm just tired, so now I think I'm ready.
Tired of what, bro?
You're tired of the present situation.
Oh, not tired of putting up the fight.
Right,
Not tired of striving.
Right, no, the tired of being confronted with the challenges. So now, since I'm tired of that, I'm gonna do this.
Right.
I jump into this because I'm tired of that. You see what I'm saying? Now this is much more attractive to me than that is. But the only problem with being tired is you don't address what? What's making you tired?
So ain't that like you throwing the towel in, Brother Gresham?
Well, if you could, that's like throwing the towel in if you refuse to go back and examine.
Actually, that's more like putting the cart before the horse.
Yes, that is like putting the cart before the horse.
Right.
Yes.
Praise the Lord. I let us just where this going. Yeah, because if we should open up the closet of our battle chest and
Right.
you need a sword, a shield, some armor, and you presume that you're ready to go out on the battlefield to do battle,
Right.
but you don't take into consideration you're missing one of the most important pieces of your battle garments, the helmet.
Right.
I'm just giving an example.
Right.
Many times I personally have pursued an attempt in trying to overcome some foe,
Right.
thinking I was sure I was ready,
Right.
and hit up on it and found out my weaknesses just wouldn't let me proceed
Right.
with the kind of success or quick victory I thought.
Right.
And I've had to retreat
Right.
and
Right.
come back and sit down and do what Jesus did,
Right.
go off into the wilderness
Right.
and take an account.
Right.
So if I'm missing that, how do I go about getting it?
Right. Right.
And maybe I just didn't know how. Let me
Right.
go back to the temple and learn some more.
Right.
Let me talk to somebody. Let me
Right.
get ministered to a little
Right.
bit more. Let
Right.
me pray to Allah and talk to the prophet a
Right.
little bit more.
Right.
Just maybe
Right.
I might get some help.
Right. See, that's why it's always important to examine your commitment. What am I really saying I'm going to do? See, we sometimes get frustrated in our endeavors.
Yes.
And that frustration causes us to make hasty decisions, but we don't understand that whatever decision we make, we have to be committed. And to be committed, you must examine. Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to stop using? I'm tired now because it's difficult for me to get it. So I'm frustrated. I'm tired. But what about when he brings it in as less frustrated? It causes you less frustration now. Are you really committed to stop? But that's what's life. That's life. That's what we're going to come confronted with in this. In life, do we really want to do this? Yeah.
You know, when the folks come out, listen to Brother Faulkner Bay, and the word came humble.
Right.
See, sometimes what we might need to do
Yeah.
is just humble ourselves.
Yeah.
Is humble ourselves to realize that there are things that we are not ready for that we think we're ready for. But our vanity makes us, we don't know why it likes to be defeated, but in reality, we might not be ready for it.
Right.
But if we don't humble ourselves,
Right.
we'll go on and continue to believe that we are ready and not realizing that we may not be ready. So, you know, that's something I was thinking about when he was talking about how, you know, he has our, but sometimes we just need to humble ourselves and say, you know, I'm not there, I'm not ready.
Yeah. When Jesus was in the wilderness and the challenge was upon him, what did he say?
He said, do I have the strength?
Did I have the strength? So what was he doing?
Examining.
He was taking self-examination.
That's right.
Exactly.
He said, my voice.
Come on.
Examine wicked
Yeah.
and fix not self.
Yeah. Yeah.
On our present choice depends on future action.
Yes. Yes. So if you don't examine, the choice that you make can cause a much, what?
Chaotic situation.
A chaotic situation in your what?
Action.
No, in your what?
presence.
In your state.
Mistake.
In your state. This is where the creation, you start to create at. See, examine with care, fix not suddenly, on thy present what?
Choice.
So what are we talking about? The choice. We're talking about the choice that we make. The choice that we make and the commitment to support that choice.
That we must live with and support.
You must support the commitment that you've made. The choice that you make must be supported by commitment. I can say I'm going to do a thing, but if I'm not committed to doing it, and I may have choose to do it, but if I don't put some type of commitment to the choice I make, it's just weak words. They mean nothing. But your word is supposed to be your what? Your what?
Because you gotta live with that.
You got to live with it.
You know, your choices, whether you fall short or victorious, you gotta live with it.
Yes, but you do.
You know what I mean?
You do. You do. You do.
Now you could look back on it and try to make a speedy reparation
Yes. Yes.
in the event that you made a disappointing choice.
Right. Right.
And hopefully you can reparate it.
Right. You know, but you always have to see one thing that he's done when he said make a speedy reparation, he always has left a door for us. It's always a way out of a condition that we have unfortunately chosen or made a choice to pursue, but it was not to our benefit.
And again, too, want to add to that, that's why it must be speedy.
Yeah.
You can't let no whole lot of time elapse
But see,
when you're trying to make that reparation.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why he emphasized speedy.
Right. But see, speedy only comes into play once you recognize it. You may go years before you even recognize it.
Right.
Utmost of our power.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause that may not be in your power to get that, you know.
Yeah, that's because see, speedy may be later on down the line.
Well, of course, you gotta recognize it before you can even attempt to make a reparation.
But the question then is asked, how long am I in the blind?
Yeah.
How long will it take for me to go through things before I recognize this is a situation? And that's when you need what? You need what? Guidance. You need guidance. The guidance will inform you that, okay, this is an area that you are presently entangled in that can bring about your destruction.
Right.
Naming assistance.
You gotta have some assistance. But who can assist you but the one who gave you the understanding about the situation that you're presently in? Who can, I can't. You can only go to the one who is the giver of the gift of understanding. And beseech him to help me to understand. Yeah,
And be willing to accept the responsibility
Yeah.
to play.
yeah,
See,
yeah,
sometimes we don't want to do that, bro.
yeah,
We don't want to accept the responsibility, so we push it to the side.
yeah. But that's mainly because we don't want to accept the instruction.
Yeah.
See, once you are willing to accept the instructions,
Right, yeah.
you see, then the responsibility, whatever it takes. If I'm going to accept this, whatever it takes. You see, the resistance to be contrary has been suppressed.
Right, that's right.
No, I was just thinking that I found myself at times preferring to hear the voice of God through man
Right,
versus the still
right,
small
Right.
voice.
right,
You know, if that makes sense, like you should trust yourself in what you hear inside, but you haven't had much practice
There you
doing
go.
it.
There you go. There you go.
You know, so
Yeah.
you end up going to someone,
Sure.
and it might
Sure.
be you might be led to do so, or
Yeah.
it might be a guidance to
Yeah.
do so.
Yeah.
But I've seen that in that I have preferred to hear it
Yeah.
out loud
Sure.
than to
Sure.
go within at times.
Sure. 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 Sure.
No, not like that.
But see, the thing is, what you're talking about doing is this. You're talking about becoming more reliant on the voice, as opposed to having to hear the voice come from a manifesting being. Because that's what we have been brought to trust, what we see.
Like the oracle.
Yeah, Mo. Well, that's what they do. So you can see it. But see, it takes a continued effort to start to trust what we don't see. Yeah,
I was thinking about purity paved the way for love.
right,
The prophet was love made manifest.
right,
Through Jesus.
right.
Okay? So we talking about protecting the prophet. But we talked about self-examination to see if we had the strength.
Right, right,
After examination, you find some things.
right.
You may have to clean up some stuff,
Right,
you know, before you can make a sincere commitment,
right,
you know, to a holy divine prophet and a divine movement.
right,
If you neglect
right,
to clean up,
right,
you still can't commit
right,
because you got all this other stuff
right, right,
that's going to be in the way to blind you from the truth.
right, 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 right.
Yeah, at that point, you just going through the motion.
Right.
They're figuring it out.
Right.
Just going through the motion.
Right. Right. The question is, of course, then one needs to ask himself periodically. I think that's the proper word. He needs to ask himself, am I just going through the motion? You have to ask yourself that. You have to ask yourself, am I just going through the motion?
That's all.
Come on.
You said a while back how we can check certain things,
Yeah.
and you said, as you know, the result.
Right,
When you see the result will tell you
right,
whether you on course or not.
right,
You know,
right,
if you follow the prophet and the instructions and doing everything you're supposed to do,
right,
you're gonna have a more favorable result.
right, right,
If not,
right,
something else is wrong.
right, right,
So now you really need examination.
right. But think about this. The result that you see is the result of what you hold most close to your heart. And what you hold most close to your heart may not necessarily be this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the result that you're getting may not be this. It may be from the common point of view.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So if you align with this, you're gonna have a result that's in favor with this.
But if you are thinking that you're in line with this, under the influence of that,
Mm-hmm.
how can you tell? Because the state of mind that you're in and the result that comes from it may be favorable for the state of mind that you're in. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with getting back the way you think? And you think you're thinking like this.
Hey,
How do you deal with it? I mean, how do you make the identification? Because you may not have been, you may have received the result from this because you're not thinking about this. So, but the result that you are getting, it still gives you some type of relief, even if it's a carnal thought, because it's giving you a relief from that carnal state.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So now we're talking about how can you tell? You know, how can you tell about I think I'm going in the right direction, as opposed to going in the right direction? Come on.
Islam. Speaking personally, I have had to keep a honest scorecard.
Yeah.
And when I say honest, I mean so honest that even in the most private, intimate, inner revelations,
Yeah.
you cannot look at the scorecard and make a winner out of what was a loser.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
I mean, there's, and I bring it back to the analogy of being on the battlefield.
Right.
I remember Brother Alaville said once that even a soldier who goes out into the battlefield, shoots in the general direction, even with his eyes closed, might get fortunate, right, once to hit his target.
Uh-huh.
But he is the better soldier who has thoroughly trained himself to look down the sight and see squarely exactly what you're shooting at.
Yeah.
And if, like in any act of trying to hit a target, you know that you missed, you gotta honestly submit to the truth that you missed.
Right.
Come back off the battlefield or go back to training and get your skills
Right.
better. But you will never do that if you lie to yourself.
Right.
Many times,
Right.
I've been chased off the battlefield, figuratively speaking, with my tail between my legs because I went out there faking, presuming that, oh yeah, I've been in the temple long enough. I got this. I read enough chapters and whoop whoop whoop. And Allah will strip the cover off of you and reveal you for the weakling you truly are. Now that might be kind of harsh, but Faulkner Bay needed to hear that from Allah, not from a man. Because quite frankly, even though our Quran teaches we'll ever discover thee more plainly than you can see yourself, nobody will tell your soul the truth better than yourself if you listen with an honest ear. And I have had to submit to some hardcore truths. Faulkner Bay, you ain't like that. You see all them bumps and bruises you got, all them dents and dings, you better go back to the temple and Humble yourself. Learn something.
That's what the prophet said. I was a general. So the prophet was on the battlefield.
That's right.
You understand? So he knew the battle. You understand? So if you got sincerity in your heart, the prophet knows that. And Allah knows that. Whether you sincere or not. You know what I mean? So it all goes back to the sincerity in what you practicing in the principles. You understand? So if you're trying to work on the principles that the prophet brought, then the prophet and Allah knows whether you sincere on working the principles.
Come on.
And speaking of battle, this battle we talking of is with self.
That's right.
It's not with Joe Blow or Bill Bob or nobody. It's with self.
Right. That's right.
He-
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes.
Praise our Prophet J. Tom there for the record. I thought I heard actually the moderator say Friday that we're learning how to battle with ourselves. That's safe to say. We're learning how to battle with ourselves. You know, from all the and forward everything that's been said.
Yeah.
We learn how to battle with ourselves.
Yeah.
That's within spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what we are learning. What was that? What do you think we're talking about now?
Ourselves.
We're learning how to identify within ourselves those things that are required attention. We have to give attention to ourselves
Yeah. Yeah.
and take it from stop letting it be out there.
Yes, yes.
The answers are not out there. But see, you can get caught up in pursuing answers that you think you see. But they're just illusions. They keep you chasing that out there.
That's it. Yes, sir. I witness to that.
Yeah.
You know, don't come to mind, bro, Lee, it's a lesson of reflection.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the reflection of reflection is
Yes.
our business.
Yes.
And what I'm learning, it's an all-day program to, if you can remember.
Yeah.
Always evaluate
Yeah.
how you moving,
Yeah.
what you're thinking,
Yeah.
how you going, where you at. If you can be conscious of that on a consistent basis.
Right.
But at some point in our daily lives, we must stop and use and tend to our business.
Yeah.
Even in dealing with those who we care about just as well as those who we don't.
Right.
Because, and what I'm learning, it ain't even with the physical aspect of what we're doing, it's how we're thinking.
Right.
It's how we're thinking, what gets us, I mean, we thinking one way, we think about Allah and the Prophet, and tomorrow, in 10 minutes, we ready to talk about, man, he cut in front of me, and man, I might push him off the road. It happens that sudden. I mean, let's be real, and that's what I mean, the reflection, see, it's not like you got an opportunity to go home and wait and reflect.
Right.
It's something you need to try to do as much as you can to just to evaluate where you're moving.
Right.
Even in the temple, how you moving about the temple. You know, we have to reflect. I mean, some of us might have been here for a minute, but you can get comfortable.
Right.
You can get comfortable, and then you can start feeling that your service is based on you getting comfortable.
Right.
But you don't see that you might need to step it up a notch. You don't see it because you're comfortable. You've been here 10 years. And so, you know, so I think that lesson of reflection is a powerful lesson for myself.
Come on.
It's not. Being the core of the government about reflection, that's where our tools come in.
Right. Right.
You know, that's where you use your sway and your compass,
Right.
to gauge your reflection of the government talking about.
Right. Right.
Peace.
Now, all the thoughts that you all are grabbing hold to will be made available to you if you are committed. Your commitment will determine what will be made available to you as you go into battle. What am I really committed to? Remember, you must make your commitment before you can make your stand.
And you must be sincere.
You make your choice, but now what is your choice based on? Hopefully, it's based on sincerity. Maybe it's based on, right now, I'm put in a situation I don't see no way out. And right now, I'll commit to anything. Because I don't see no way out. I'm looking for a way out. So I'll do whatever you say. We said that before. Whatever you say, I'll do it.
Well, so there ain't no reason there.
No, you trying to get out. But the one that gets out or makes it out and remains out is the one who makes a commitment. A commitment to what?
That's right.
All the law. That's right. Or the truth. See, everyone has an opportunity to make a choice, and you're always given two. Now, if I'm committed to trying to do right, the one that leads me to doing that, it'll be more glaring. But if I'm holding in my heart a commitment to something, that's going to be what has the most influence. And that's where I'm going. So we hear about the fights that we all trying to make, but if we haven't committed to what's going to help us, then what'll happen is, in the midst of the battle, you're only going to sway to what you have been relying on in secret. That's all.
That's all.
If the illusion is what you have grabbed hold to, that's what you're going to, that's where you're going to go. But if you've been committed to trying to do the best you can in rendering your service to Allah, then what you'll see is something far greater and brighter to help pull you out of the abyss. You can see your way out. But it's all dependent on the choice you make. And your choice, of course, is a reflection of your commitment.
Praise God.
Yeah.
So, Brother Lee, so it goes back to we're creators.
Of course, more everything is about, everything that we're talking about is us.
That's right. We make our own.
And the conditions that we experience.
Exactly.
I have just made a hell for myself.
Come on.
But I used to look for other people to put that on.
Of course.
Not me.
Who wants to admit the fact that I done created a hell for myself? It had to be somebody else. I couldn't have did that to myself.
But the prophet teaches me to self. That's right. Yeah. Before coming to the temple, I always looked outside for somebody else to put that on.
And there are many of those who are in here still blaming other people. Because they have yet to take the self-examination.
This one program thing. Also, that goes back to the thought. Thinking, not thinking.
Yes.
Before we act.
Yes.
Right? Because the thought is the cause of it all.
Yes. Yes.
So we're not thinking, we don't blame the other person first.
Yeah. Well, see, look, we're in the midst of a battle between the high and the low.
That's right.
We're in the battle.
That's bad.
And we may feel comfortable right now, praise the Lord. But let me tell you something. Goliath is still on the throne.
That's right. That's right.
And he won't be removed until we remove him permanently. So we are fighting. It is made to appear. See, the Lord self is very shrewd. He makes it appear things are all right.
That's right. That's right.
And then he'll whisper in your ear and you'll start to say, everything is all right. That is just a subliminal suggestion.
That's right.
That's getting you to accept I'm all right. Because the minute I accept I'm all right, there ain't nothing else for me to get better for.
Right. Let's go.
But it's all, that's why thought is so, that's why thought is so, yeah, but you got to examine the way you think. You got to make sure that, wait a minute, I got to make sure I'm not doing something to myself. Not knowing that I'm doing it to myself. Well, if you stop doing it to yourself, you'll do it to others. You won't do it to others. Because what you want for yourself, you want for others. Remember, the battle is gonna offer you two voices that you're gonna hear. When you think about it, when you just get relaxed, and you're gonna hear two voices. You're gonna hear the voice that discusses and supports the carnal. You're gonna get the voice that supports the spirit. And you're gonna hear that conversation. Now the question is, which one do you agree with? The one that you're committed to.
That's right.
Somebody talking about the angel on one
Yeah,
shoulder,
yeah,
the devil on the other shoulder.
That's right.
Because he has to fight.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fight until you overcome the strongest foes of our lives.
That's right.
This is the battleground, my brother.
I want to say, once your heart is fixed,
Yeah.
do you still hear the two voices after that?
Yeah, you're gonna hear it.
Okay.
See, the voice that you're gonna hear it until we leave here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always, but what happens to the voice now, the foe now is when he tells you, a soldier never knows his strength until he meets his foe. So now the foe's voice just serves to make you stronger. When your heart is fixed, it serves to make you stronger because now you can deny it with some power, clarity, and authority. That means you get stronger because every victory over what?
Self.
Gives you what?
Added strength.
That's what it's about.
That makes sense.
You know? That's what it's about.
That's why Jesus went in the wilderness.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Because he had to fight it too.
yeah. There's no question.
No.
There's no question. There's no question. Yes,
God just say, my sheep know the sound of my voice.
yes,
So we talk about listening to voices.
yes,
You gotta listen and know the prophet.
yes.
If you don't hear the prophet's voice, then you know.
Yes.
It's
No
love.
question.
You know, it ain't the truth.
No question. See, can I tell you what I'm not telling you, but what I will share with you is that in the midst of the battle, you'll be able to recognize him, his instructions based on what commitment you have made. If you are trying, you are trying to do right. I'm trying.
That's right.
And the amount of commitment has to grow, like you have to grow.
Practice.
But it has to be commitment. The degree is solely dependent on your development. But you gotta be committed. You got to be introduced to commitment itself. See, commitment is a thought. You must be acquainted with the thought so that you can truly learn what that thought means.
Talk about fixed.
Come on.
That's real
Come
commitment.
on.
That's real.
When you fixed into the idea that you're about to take on the foe of Allah
Yeah.
and man,
Yeah.
that'll shake anybody out of their books, fairs or not.
Come on.
You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying, boy. I mean, I'm really getting a lot out of that because you just can't lie to yourself.
Right.
You either know you're going to fight
Right.
or you know you're going to fail.
Right.
I mean, I don't necessarily like using that vernacular, but
Right.
it's not much more complicated than that.
Right.
I used to try to make it so profound and deep and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have been in situations where it was just as dry cut as Faulkner Bay.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
And if I failed to do the yes and I ended up giving into the no,
Right.
I had to be honest about going to my scorecard,
Right.
take the L, Faulkner Bay. But get up, try it again.
Right.
You know what I mean? But not to make that an excuse.
Right.
Because I know that sometimes we can almost develop a psychosis, become psychotic to the point where the overwhelming challenge of taking on certain foes
Right.
will literally cause people to become just frozen.
Right.
You get stuck.
Right.
You get scared to not want to try the right, try the wrong. You just stuck in place. You don't see nothing.
But you know what you do then?
Mm-hmm.
You compromise.
Exactly.
That's right.
You
Exactly.
prostitute your principle.
Exactly. I bear witness, more.
See,
I bear witness.
because you see it. See, you see it. You see this, you see right, you see wrong. You see the right direction, you see the wrong direction. But that wrong direction still has such a influence.
That's right. Gosh.
And I am going through something, but it still has such an influence. Let me compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe man can't be all good, all bad. Okay, that's enough to give you enough to say, wait a minute. I
Right.
can do a little bit of this.
Right.
Because you go right and you start to pull from what has given you some type of secure feeling when you first read it. Man, it's truth and falsehood, strange and mixed. Man, it can't be truth or evil.
Yeah.
So what helps me at this moment is that I can use that to help me support doing this.
Yes,
You know why? And you know why I make a compromise? That's right.
Because you're not committed.
I'm not committed.
And that desire to satisfy the lower self is so strong.
Oh, my brother.
See what I'm saying?
My brother,
You know that you got to sit back and say, wait a minute.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
let me sit back and you know think about this.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because that desire to satisfy the lower self, you know, boy, it's strong.
That's right. You right, Mom. Come on, buddy.
You know, one thing, Brother Lee, it's funny you brought that up because I had an opportunity to read something. It said a lot of times we know what's going on.
Right.
And the thing about it is we would lack the courage to deal with it or understanding on how to deal with it.
Right.
And that's what allows us to have to make the compromise.
Right.
Because it's a challenge now.
Right. Right.
Now, are we willing to make the choice?
Right.
And sometimes we're not up for it. Not that we're not willing to make it, but we're just not up to making the choice at that moment.
Right.
Or we don't understand how to make the choice.
That's right.
See, one of the things I learned about Jesus, a lot of times when he came into contact with things,
Right.
he didn't respond to them.
Right.
He was still.
Right.
He was still. He was still. And he would ask himself questions
Right.
before he reacted.
Right. Right.
And that's something that I think I have to learn in my dealing.
Right.
Sometimes we don't always have to
Right.
approach the situation.
Right.
Just be still.
Right.
Ask yourself, what is the meaning of this?
Right. Right.
Before we be ready to deal. A lot of times when we ready to deal, we dealing out of passion. And by dealing out of passion, we have lost all sense of reason. And then we create a condition for ourselves.
See, remember, Mama, you got two conversations. The outer man's conversation, the inner man's conversation.
Yes.
That's the conflict.
That's right.
But the how you address it is to be what? Learn to be what? Still.
Be still.
You gotta be still. Because the carnal man is gonna say what it has to say based on the carnal activity that it is presently confronted with.
That's right.
And the spirit man will listen because it has been dealt with in that manner before. But for the spirit man to regain its consciousness, he must be still to hear from within. The voice will come. But not if you get caught up in the impulse.
There you go. There you go.
You get caught up in that thing as it jump on you. It's just like walking down the street and somebody pop out on you and you respond like that. You be impulsive.
Yes.
Now what's going to follow that impulse? You better hope it's guided by something that's going to put you in a better position than you're presently in, because right now that impulsiveness has caused you to not be on guard, and that not being on guard is affecting the way you want to think. You know? It's going to affect you. It's got to affect you. What do you do when somebody's scared? Hey,
That's your reflex.
come on, man.
Your reflex.
But the reflex, that is associated with their pulse from without. And if you ain't thinking, suppose you ever been playing with say you might be playing with your child or something, and they walk behind you and they you don't know they're there, and they pop out on you, and you might, you know what I mean? But that's the same way life confronts us to get us in a position where we don't think.
Come on.
Where we don't exactly. Look, a reflex responding to a reflex.
Right.
That's what that is.
We gotta be on guard.
You didn't he tell you? You got to be on guard. That's not saying you're paranoid. You're just on guard with your surroundings. But for you to be on guard for your surroundings, you must be committed to your instructions. Because the instructions tell you what to do. Okay, Sister Jelly.
It's what I was doing when I was thinking about something a few weeks ago. You was talking about foundation.
Right.
And establishing a strong foundation, principles on it.
Right.
And I said that's something else that's come in play. We
That's right.
establishing our
That's
foundation
right.
and making sure that it's a strong, solid foundation with our principles. In order to use those, to stand against those things that we know are wrong.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Brother Lee, if I may, what you were just saying, could we use where there's the least
Yes.
a person
Yes. Yes.
suspect
Yes.
raise a danger, and in this case, we're talking about allowing ourselves
Yes.
to be alert
Yes.
to the least appearance of evil,
Yes.
so that we won't make them impulsive, or we won't react the way we react, because we somewhat are alert to what may possibly take place. Not that it has to, but what may possibly take place.
Right.
It's not that we are just looking for the evil,
Right.
but we are aware that even though it looks good, it looks peaceful, it looks harmonious,
Right.
there's a possibility
Right.
these conditions can change
Right.
at a moment's notice.
Right.
And am I aware of that to a point where when it does change,
Right.
how it will affect me?
Right. Just keep, what I'm learning is this. Always keep this in mind. Appearances
Come on.
can change.
Mm.
Appearances can change. So that should automatically put you in a position of being on guard, because an appearance can easily change. It's a reflex, just appearing. And if a strong thought can alter that reflex and cause it to now it appeared to be all right, but now what is going on now?
Yeah.
Where is this coming from? A strong thought has put in motion and influence to that reflex, which causes the appearance to change.
The roses hide the thorns.
Come on, Mo. And if you are impulsive, you're gonna jump. Because this is not what I thought. I have looked at it and I have agreed with me that it's like this, but all of a sudden, bam. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna react. So you wanna always remember that appearances change.
Praise God.
You got to know that. Because if you don't, you will be subject to reflex. And reflexes, reflexes are appearances. Let's go to the Holy Koran. Chapter 18, the resurrection of Jesus. Pilate places the Roman seal upon the stone door of the tomb. at midnight, a company of the Silent Brotherhood marched about the tomb. About the tomb. The soldiers are alarmed. Jesus teaches to the spirits in prison. Early Sunday morning, he rises from the tomb. The soldiers are bribed by the priests to say that the disciples had stolen the body. Now I'm reading that, and you but I'm reading that. I'm reading that because that's a number of thoughts that's taking place. Everything in that heading is a thought that took place. And that particular thought, each one of the thoughts that are mentioned in the heading had a event attached to it. There was an event when they marched about the tomb. There was an event for this. There was an event that followed that. Individual thoughts with events.
And it's safe to say, even our individual thoughts have events.
Come on, Mo.
Yeah.
Our thoughts create events based on the way we think. Each thought we have, we create a situation or a condition that has the potential to reveal to us an event based on the thought that caused that condition. That's what helps us to identify not making certain conditions by thinking certain ways.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, praise the Lord, I kind of hear where you're going, because this is one of these lessons where it is not that difficult to internalize
Right,
and see yourself
Right.
in the scene.
right, Right.
And for those events that are unfolding
right,
in a metaphorical way,
right,
they have unfolded in the life of the Moorish nation,
right,
as well as
right,
the individual member
right,
amongst our people.
right,
Peace.
right, right. The thought is to help us the thought that's being projected is to help us to be able to see and accept the resurrection. To help us to acknowledge, okay, it's possible. It's possible. Let me eradicate me saying, oh, that can't happen.
Yes.
Well, that didn't take place. I can't see that. I can't see that. Let's eradicate I can't see that.
Come on.
For the possibility that you will be able to see it.
See something at least.
Yeah. Well, look, I can't see people marching and they charging and they don't even react. They just march and counter march. How can they do that? What are they, ghosts?
Right.
See, you got to be able to come to the realization or the acceptance that it's possible for them to be materialized, but not in the essence to the point where they are physical.
Right.
Exactly. You can see the form without the flesh.
Right.
You gotta know something about the science of Allah, how Allah created
You
all
got to,
things.
you got to.
Yeah.
You got to. But unless you are willing to allow yourself to just let him try to show you before you become so resistant. Let him try to show you what the possibilities of man are. And understand once we get to a certain point that you got to do the same thing. I didn't say the event will be the same.
Right.
I didn't say you would be nailed on the cross the same way. But the transition or the transformation will be the same. Because what you're going to go through will be equivalent.
That's why I said metaphor.
Come on, man.
But you know it at the same time, even after you go through all that, man can't.
That's the truth. Well, you're going into it now knowing you can't. But let me tell you something. We're walking through it. But, you know, when that death comes, you know what I mean? That's another story. You know what I mean? You know, but when that thing is on you, you don't know till you know.
That's another case for a reality check.
Come on.
About being honest.
You gotta believe. and have faith.
Yeah. But that's one of the reasons as to why he's going through this. Like, that's one of the reasons why I believe he's spelling it out for us in the manner in which he's doing it.
Prepare.
To prepare.
Try to prepare us.
Yeah.
Back to what you're saying, prepare us by our own application.
Yes. Yes.
See, because our application will anoint us
Yes.
to become more accepted
Yes.
of
Yes.
it. And, you know, so a lot of it's gonna be on us.
Yes.
Because you said something key. You just said something key. Because we may not be able to see it
Right.
at this moment,
Right.
that there was they marched the counter march and they
Right.
they ran up on them and they not
Right.
happened to them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean we kind of calm goofy.
Right.
And when I say that is we don't accept things we can't really comprehend.
Right. Right.
But that don't mean that it can't happen.
That's right.
We gotta stay open.
That's right. That's right. That's why, again, commitment is so important. A commitment helps you to see. It helps you to see. Well, don't you know what you commit yourself to, you dedicate yourself to?
Yeah.
Just think about if I'm dedicating myself to the teaching of Prophet Noah. Of course it's a covenant. With you. You know, there are many, you know, the covenant says that. But you know, yeah. You're committing or you're dedicating your whole life. Yes. Come on.
Islam. And also that entails what Mars means.
Yes.
Because you dedicate your life to surrendering your will to
That's
Allah.
right. That's right. This is the life of a submitter.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
It's the life of a submitter. This is a life of the submitter. This is what it is. So a lot is shown that's not physical,
Yes.
but you'll see it in the next realm, which you have an opportunity to experience from right here. And it's reinforcing, but it's also challenging, because once you are made aware and you get a glimpse of it and you can sense that this is right, here you come, bring you back here and cause you to doubt. He didn't make you doubt, because that's of your own wish, but he's influential enough to cause doubt. So anything, you can read this, and while you're reading it and you're in it, you can feel it. You can feel something that helps to reinforce what you're reading. But then as soon as you leave here,
Yes.
that particular realm of thought, and come into, and re-enter back into this realm of thinking, now he's strong. And everything that you would, or everything that you was exposed to in that realm while you were reading and you were there, you can come here and it's like, no. And that's the conflict.
And that's what you often used to say, Lord, we gotta hold the thought.
You got to hold it.
Yeah.
You got to hold it. You got to hold it. 17. He opened, it says, and in the realm of souls unmanifest, the Lord went and taught. He opened up the prison doors and set the prisoner free. He broke the chain of captive souls and led the captives to the light. He sat in council with the patriarchs and prophets of the olden times. The masters of all times and climes he met. And in the great assemblies, he stood forth and told the story of his life on earth and his death in sacrifice for man. and of his promises to clothe himself again in garb of flesh and walk with his disciples, just to prove the possibilities of man. To give to them the key of life, of death, and of the resurrection of the dead. In council, all the masters sat and talked about the revelations of the coming age. Now you know this was done well. Okay. We're saying that the higher realm. Come on, man.
Let me ask you a question. When it talks about the realm of soul unmanifest,
Yeah.
you can slow that rhythm down, but not slow enough where it can manifest. Is that what it's saying?
No, what it's saying is like this. In that rhythm, there is no manifest. The manifestation comes when you re-enter this rhythm. And it's manifested because this is the plane of things made manifest. It's so slow here that the ethers become murky.
So when the soldiers are marched, they counter marched,
Right.
they had slowed themselves down.
Exactly, for the,
But not
for the purpose
further.
of, no, for the purpose of visibility. See, remember, he can cross the borderland at will. See, you can see him. It's no, you won't have it. It's not difficult to see them because they can make themselves seen. You know, yeah.
Is that the ability of flesh divine?
That is the ability for being able to transmute from flesh to flesh. So you can see it, but you can't touch it.
Right. That's right.
You can see it, you can't touch it. But even that, when they're on a mission, they can cause certain material things to be subject to them, just like when they moved the boulder, when they tore the Roman seal. Come on.
Islam, it would be helpful for anybody who cared to just look up the word realm.
Yes.
So
Yes.
imagine that there's a ladder placed firmly on the ground but is leaning up against a house. It has a roof that limits the height of the building. All of the space from the earth where that ladder is fixed, all the way up to the highest point of the roof is the realm of that particular ladder. But beyond the end of that ladder, there are higher realms that go even in higher vibrations and manifestations. And my point being is that the higher you go on that ladder, the less carnal or physical manifest appears closer to the roof than it does to the ground. So if you wanted to see a more fixed, solid, physical image, you would look closer to the bottom of the ladder. If you wanted to see a almost translucent, lined out appearance of a soul body, you would look further to the roof of the building. Peace.
Unmanifest. Right.
Unmanifest. Yeah, exactly.
See, remember, it tells you, it says, can we see him? And the answer is no. But we didn't say we couldn't see him. Jesus specifically states about the mortal eyes. They can't see him.
Far too blind, far too blind.
Exactly. But he never said you can't see him.
Right.
See, it's all about adjustments because it all has to do with the rate of speed.
That's right.
The rate of speed.
That's right, yeah.
The speed makes it difficult to see
That's right.
from the physical point of view.
Exactly.
That's
But when we are in harmony with the speed, just like Jesus is shown in his conversations with those in the next realm, they are unmanifest. They are in an unmanifested state because they're no longer on the plane of things made manifest. So he's talking and seeing. If what he does, all men can do, why can't we sin? But it's the state that we evolve into once we have made certain commitments to hold. It's about being able to get to the point where we can hold and we're no longer attracted to the things that bring us into the slower ethers of the murky, in the slower murky. That's the only reason why we're here now is because we're functioning in the murky ethers of the flesh.
I can see that, Brother Gracie, because sound and speed is measured by. I mean, sound and light is measured by speed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah.
Sound and light is measured by speed. Yeah.
They say that light is the thought of Allah vibrating in the rhythm of rapid thought.
Come on, man. Rapid thought. I can see that. Very well.
So the physical ladder is only gonna get you to a certain height. That's it. Then after that,
That's right.
you got to raise your vibration. You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Yeah, you got to raise your vibration. Once you get to the top of that physical ladder,
There you go.
you know.
Right. That's when you get to the top of the physical ladder, look what takes place. Disintegration.
Yes.
You can't, yeah, because look, that's as far as you have been allowed to go. So what must happen? The body must disintegrate.
But he also showed us that there's life after this.
There's no question.
Because even on that plane,
Yes.
there were prisons.
Yeah.
And you know something that jumped out to me, Brother Lee? He freed their captive souls.
Yes.
And he led them to the light.
Yes.
See, you could be, and I thought about this, I said, so you could go
Yes.
to the soul plane,
Yes.
but you still have to be led to the light.
Yes.
So I thought, and I think about what he said, if I can't teach you here,
Right.
I'll teach you on the soul plane.
And keep in mind, well, what about the ones that can be taught here?
Stay patient.
Oh, they gotta go through the process.
Yes.
It's a process.
But it can
It's a process.
Can we be taught on the soul plane while we're here?
Well, right now, like it tells you this. The heart of man cannot attend at once to two meetings. One plane at a time.
That's right.
Because how, if you split yourself, you know, think about it. Look how difficult it is for us now just to be able to comprehend here, there.
Right, Mom. It's not.
That's a different level.
So the teachings are to teach you here, but those instructions will help you to understand there. It helps us to remember some progression, progress.
Going somewhere else uncommitted.
See, but here, one thing about here though, you know, when they told me to, I was used to say, on this plane you can learn faster. Why, I don't know. But they said on this plane you can learn the lessons faster. And I don't know if it's because we see, we don't know. But, you know, that's just something to think about as you ponder the discussions that we've had today. Come on, Mark, I got to go. Come on, Mark.
Just give him the praise Allah and honor the prophet, you know, but I am a feds on it, you know, plus I'm in it. But what if one just want to love? You know, I heard something like Friday, you know, the family was singing. What if you just want to just love the way Allah wants you to love? You want to walk the way Allah wants you to walk.
have
I'm
to
saying?
learn
Just
to do
to,
that, Mo.
you know what I'm saying? Because you say you're learning to love.
Yeah, that's what he said, Mo.
Okay.
You know, that's all of it's a process.
It's so.
You know, see, we have a tendency. You know, I was reading the other day because I said, when we get to the next state that we're in, and we see our loved one, or when we see our loved one, when we get to the next, maybe not the next plane, but the plane beyond that plane, you will see your loved ones, right? Those who you have had interactions with, those who have you learned to love. But it won't be no single love just for them, it'll be love. So all that we come in contact with, all that we be involved in, all that will surround us is only love. We won't see brother, sister, mother, father. All we will see is love. And I found that to be very interesting, you know, because you think, because when you grow up, you think, well, when I die, I go to heaven, I'm gonna see my mother, and yeah, you will, but you may see those who have played those roles. Because it's only role playing, you know that, right?
That's right.
If we gotta pass through our ways of life, we got to be the mother, the sister, the brother, the blah, 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 blah. So the whole point that I'm making is this. Once we get where we're going, only love will be, not individuals. Come on now. It'll just be love.
Because all things is one, right?
All things are one, exactly. That's right. That's right. Peace.
Islam or Islam. I want to thank our grand chief, moderator, our brother man and friend, for a very stimulating class. I'd like to thank all of you for your participation as well. And at this time, I'll call for the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C., Brother H. Harris Bay, to read our divine warning, our proclamation. And while it's being read, please give the reading your undivided attention, and please cease all movement.
Islam wants.
Islam.
First, we give praise to Allah and honor Prophet Noble Ali. I give honor to each and every one of you, and I give honor to everything Prophet Noble Ali has brought for the upliftment and fall of humanity. Prophet wants all my governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while they work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans that causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, and freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet, through the will of Allah, to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Ali. Peace.
Peace.
Islam or
Islam.
I'd like to thank our Grand Governor, Brother H. Harris Bay, for reading out divine warning. That ends our questionnaire and Koran portion of the meeting. We will now go into our business portion. Allah, Father, universe.
Allah, Father, universe.
Father, love.
Father, love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace. Freedom. freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen.